Yes, yes. Now the recording is on. You can start, madam.
Yeah, good afternoon. I'm here in India. It is afternoon, so it's good afternoon. Hello to everybody. I am Dr. Tamsakombi Akoiza, a faculty here in School of Tourism and Hospitality Services Management in IGNO. And today we will be taking on a new course, which is tourism marketing. Let me see how many students are here. There's not much student. Okay, we can start. And right up till now, you must have gone through some of the courses like TS-1, TS-2, TS-3. So today this is TS-6, which is on tourism marketing. Right. So in in TS-6, we have a number of units. You must have already got the study material for this. So it is divided into 8 blocks. And today I will be covering the first block. And I hope that all of you have gone through the block and there will be some questions, because teaching over the online mode is very monotonous. I keep on speaking, and if there is no query from your side, no participation from your side, then it becomes a little monotonous. So I hope we will be getting a lot of queries in this, and that way the communication will be two-way. So let me just give you a brief introduction about TS-6 as a whole, so that you will know what to expect in this whole course. And thereafter, I will start my presentation, wherein I will be taking you through the first block. So in the first block, it is about understanding tourism market, tourism marketing. And we have 3 units in it. One is the introduction to tourism marketing, approaches, relevance, and role. The next one is on market segmentation, and the third unit is on tourism markets. And here we will divide it into 2 parts. One is international tourism market, and another is the domestic tourism market. Then in block 2 is all about market analysis. How do you do the analysis? So we would be having a unit on marketing research, wherein you will talk about what is the purpose of market research, why it is important in a sector like tourism, then what scope is there for market research in tourism. Then we will also learn how to design a market research. Then there is a unit which is called as competitive analysis and strategies. Now, this is very important. Whenever in a market situation, whenever there is competition, obviously then you have to pay a lot of attention to your competition. Your profit comes when you are ahead of your competitors. So studying the competitors' strategy is a very important aspect of marketing. So competitive analysis and strategy is one aspect which we have dealt with. And then forecasting for tourism and its product. This is another unit on it, where we will study the factors which influence tourism, then what is forecasting, then the different methods of forecasting, how do we do forecasting in tourism. Then you have the role of tourism and role of technology in tourism marketing. Now, in a very today in a modern world, and especially after the pandemic, we have been able to have this such type of classes in very easily because of advances in technology. So how technology influences tourism marketing is also another aspect. Then block 3 is about the developmental role of marketing. So here we will talk about the role of the public organization. When we talk about public organization, we usually mean those organizations which are part of the government functioning. In India, we have the Ministry of Tourism. So this is a public organization. And then we have the role of the local bodies also. Here also local body is also part of the government. In the sense at the regional, at the smaller level. For example, in India, we have the central level, then we have the different states. So in a state, we have the state capital, then we have other districts. So local bodies refers to those government officials or government organization at the local level. Then we have the role of non-governmental organization, which is again very important aspect, because tourism is more of a social phenomenon. So when it is a social phenomenon, the government cannot have a say on everything. There has to be certain checkpoints, and this is where the non-governmental organization, they come into the picture. Then we have socially responsible marketing. What it is, social marketing. Then a very important block is block number 4, which is marketing mix. Now, marketing mix, there are 4 P's, very basic P's of marketing, which is one is product, another is price, another is promotion, and another is place. So this 4 constitute the 4 P's of marketing. These are the important elements of marketing. So in block number 4, which is on marketing mix, we will be studying different units on these 4 aspects. And when we talk about tourism, obviously people plays a very important role in this. So we have another topic, another unit, which is called as the 5th P. 4P is the accepted one. 5th P, wherein we will talk about people, processes, and physical evidences. This we will cover in the other sessions, because today we will be covering only block number 1. And then block number 5 is marketing mix specific situation. Here we will talk about incidents or events or small or specific situations, like say a familiarization tour. Then what is seasonal marketing? Then trade fairs and festivals. Then we will also talk about in this next block on destination marketing. How do you market a region? How do you market a city? How do you market a leisure spot or events, activities, even individual can also be marketed. When you talk about celebrities, so then YouTube influencers, travel influencers. So these are individuals which can be connected with the tourism trade, right? And individual, when you talk about iconic figures, like say the in India, the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi. So the place where he was born, the place where he died, and the place where his struggle of freedom, places associated with them. This can become tourist attraction point. So individuals can also be part of the marketing mix. Then how does shopping helps, education, culture, then local food, the cuisine. It is again an important aspect which we will also take up into consideration in this. And in block number 7, we have accommodation marketing. Now, in accommodation marketing, we have the different categories of hotels. So this will also come the star category hotels, the budget hotels, then alternative accommodation. See, hotels accommodation, it comes in the formal sector. Now, there are other alternative accommodation like tents, like say dharamsalas. Then you have guest house, you have bungalows. So all this also comes under the alternative accommodation. Supplementary accommodations are also there, then wherein you can talk about paying guest accommodation. Then we have linkages in the trade, how the tourism industry is linked with other sectors. And in block number 8, it is about transport and travel services management, marketing. So we will talk about airlines marketing, then we will talk about the tourist transport, then we will talk about the travel agency marketing, as well as the tour operators marketing. So this in a nutshell is what this whole tourism marketing course is going to be. And so let us start with the conceptual foundation of what do we understand by market, what do we understand by tourism marketing. So let me just try to what you call share my screen, and then just 1 second. Yeah. Can you see the screen where I have can you see the screen which is visible, the
Yes,
presentation?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. The screen is visible, ma'am.
Yeah. So, what is understanding tourism marketing, right? Now, in this, we will talk about what is marketing. We will talk about the relevance of marketing in relation to tourism, and then how marketing evolved, the evolution, then the various features of tourism marketing, also the role of marketing organization. Then we will try to address certain issues which are there while making a marketing plan. And then we will talk about market segmentation. In market segmentation, also, we have theories of market segmentation, we have approaches of segmenting the market, and what are the variables or the factors based on which we can segment the market. Then we will talk about the major tourism markets of the world. And to give you a specific example, I will be concentrating on the figures of India so that you can relate it with your own respective countries and then see how to go about it. And then we will try to define what is domestic tourism and differentiate between the different forms of domestic tourism and why the growth of domestic tourism is important, and understand the significance of domestic tourism. So while starting the understanding of tourism marketing, let us see what some definitions given about marketing. So the British Institute of Marketing, it says marketing, it is the management process responsible for what? Responsible for identifying, anticipating, and satisfying customer requirements profitably. So you look at all the words: identify, anticipate, satisfy customer requirements. So you have, the marketer has to know what is that the customer wants, and then not only identify the needs, you also need to anticipate. And when you talk about anticipate, it is about understanding what will be the new trends. Someday a tourist destination may be popular, next year it may not be popular, and then the focus may shift to another form. So this changing trend, updating yourself, and then how to satisfy this customer requirements is very important. The word profitability also makes a lot of sense, because an organization or a company is there to make profit. So if a profit is not made, then the whole existence of the organization, I'm talking about commercial organization, then the whole objective or the goal of having that organization is not fulfilled. According to the American Marketing Association, they defined marketing as the activity or the set of institutions and processes for creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging offerings that have value for customers, for clients, for partners, and society at large. So, this is a definition which is given by the American Marketing Association. Now, Philip Kotler, he is an American marketing guru, and often called as the father of marketing also. He defines marketing as the analysis. You look at each of this word: analysis, planning, implementation, and control of carefully formulated programs designed to bring about voluntary exchanges of value with target markets for the purpose of achieving organizational objective. So it relies heavily on designing the organization's offering in terms of the target market's need and desire, on using effective pricing, communication. When you talk about communication here, we means promotion and distribution. To do what? To inform, to motivate, and service the market. So there are certain features or things which we need to take note of in this definition, which is given by Kotler. One, it says it is a managerial process, which means there should be a manager, a person to manage the whole activity. So it is a managerial process. Then it manifests itself in carefully formulated programs. What does it mean? It means that carefully thought about, it is a carefully designed, it is a carefully decided upon program. It is not any random program. So Lots of factors are studied, lots of other situations are analyzed, and then the marketing program is devised. So it is a carefully formulated program and not a random program. Then the another point is this: the marketing attempts to bring about voluntary exchanges of values. Voluntary means it should be the person should not be forced. Voluntary, that you are giving it up. So you are intentionally coming to buy it. You are not being forced. So this is the of values. Then marketing means the selection of target markets. We will come to this target market when we come to segmentation. And marketing, it depends upon designing the organization's products or services in terms of the needs and desire of the target market. So here market research also comes. First, we need to identify what are the needs of the target of the group that you are trying to target, and then you have to design your product according to it. Now, the purpose of marketing is to assist organization in their survival and growth. This is very important. Why should an organization be there? An organization is there because it wants to grow. If it wants to grow, what it should do? It should have certain objectives. Therefore, this marketing activity should also help the organization in their survival and in their growth. Then marketing, it uses effective pricing, it uses effective communication, and it uses effective distribution strategies. When you look at the UNWTO, it stands for the United Nations World Tourism Organization. And this is the organization which keeps a tab on or records the statistics of all the tourism reasons all over the world. So they define marketing is a management philosophy, which in light of tourist demand, so here, tourist demand is very important. The supply is from the organization side. What the tourists want is what we call as the tourist demand, and makes it possible through research, through forecasting and selection to place tourism products on the market most in line with the organization purpose for the greatest benefit. So if you look at all of these definitions, we can see that all of them are talking the same language. The basic point is one, all of them says the wants and the desire of the customer is very important, and on the other hand, the organization is there to fulfill those wants and of the desire of the consumer, and to understand that they have to go through certain processes. Now, what are the processes? Forecasting is one of them, segmentation is one of them, then again targeting the market is also another. So there are various processes that a organization has to go through. Now, there are three aspects again in this definition of UNWTO which are very important. It is a matches and balances tourists. Another thing is the tourism research is an inherent integral part of tourism marketing, because how do you know the demands or the needs and the desire of a tourist? You need to talk to the tourist. You need to find out. So what is finding out? Finding out means doing a research. You have to go deep into it. Unless and until you go and find out what the tourist wants, how will you come to know? Obviously, you have to go and talk to the tourist. You have to study what they want. You have to go through the what do you call the popular trends, and then you come to a conclusion. So marketing research, tourism research is very important. Now, in order to have a proper placement of tourism products and services, the marketing concepts of positioning and product life cycles are also of great significance. Now, product life cycle, you must have talked about it in TS-1 and others also. Whenever a product is made, it is first, it is launched in the market. It is introduced to the market. So we call it. Next, it is the growth phase. So every product, we human being, we also have a life cycle. We are born, then we grow up as toddlers, then we are born as, then we become teenager, then we attain maturity, adulthood, and after that we grow old and then we die. So this is a life cycle of a human being. So in the same way, all product also have a product life cycle. First, they are launched in the market. That means they are introduced in the market, which is, we call it as the launching phase. After that, there will be a growth phase when the product is being accepted by the consumer or by the market. Then we call it as the growth phase. After some time, it will attain its maturity stage, that is mostly acceptable. And after that, there will be again a saturation wherein there can be no further growth. After that, there will be the decline. So all marketing activities, you have to have different marketing activities based on different stages of the product life cycle. Introductory phase, there should be a different type of marketing strategy. Maybe it is new to the market, so you have to think of giving, say, discounts, because we are giving, it is a new product which we are offering. So, and when in the growth phase also, it is growing up, so maybe the discount can continue. But at the maturation stage, when you know that your product is already accepted by the market or by the consumer, then you need not give discounts now, because the consumer will buy it. Because if you keep on giving discounts, you have to think of the profit also. If there is no profit, then there is no organization. So you have to think of the profit also. If you keep on giving discounts, then there'll be no profit. So if there is no profit, then the organization will cease to exist. You will not be able to pay the salaries of the employee. You will not be able to buy more raw material which is required. Neither will you be able to pay for maintenance. So obviously you need profit if you have to run an organization. So you cannot keep on giving discounts. So the different types of marketing strategy, it differs according to the stages in the product life cycles. So how did marketing evolve? When human beings have started as a civilization, there were no concept of marketing. There was no currency, there was no money exchange. It was all on good faith, and it was in the barter system. If I have something, you have something, we exchange. So I also get to use some of yours. So that is how it went. So they have the barter system. If I produce, say, meat, and another person is growing vegetables, so I need vegetable, he needs meat, so we exchange. Or I have cooking oil, the other person has other commodities, so we exchange. So that is the barter system. But as we progress, as civilization progresses, then, and the human population also increased, and trade also started functioning, like from one place to another, the business is happening, then it was not feasible to have the barter system. Say a token evolved, and because of many competition through which your product, the product which your organization is producing, it needs to be differentiated, or it needs to be made known to other people. So that is where marketing comes. So generally, there are three distinct stages in the development of marketing and business, modern business practices. One is the production era, another is the sales era, and the third one is the marketing era. So in production era, the main focus is on increasing the efficiency of production and supply of products to the market, which means the focus is on making sure that enough machineries are there to produce the products. And so it is more on production. It is not on the product or on the consumer. It is how to produce it more efficiently. Now, sales era, the production is there. So here the organization, it attempts to influence market demand by adopting more effective means of selling. So in sales era, what happens is the focus is on selling. I have to sell my product. I have to sell my product to the consumer. So that is the main focus. Selling is the main focus. Now, in marketing era, as we develop from the production to the selling era to the marketing era, here the consumer is the focus. Here, which is where we look at the demands, the desire of the consumer, and we design our product according to that. So this is and corresponding to this one is the selling concept and another is the marketing concept. So production concept, it asserts that consumers prefer products that are cheap and available. So the focus is more on producing more and more of your products. So thus manufacturers, supplier, retailers, they all focus on putting relatively inexpensive goods and services into the markets in large quantities. The volume of production is very large. The product is cheap, the production is very large. Now the selling concept is that consumer will buy only those products that are heavily sold to them. So there are lots of salesperson. You are pushing your products to them. So this is the selling concept. Now in the marketing concept, the firm, it evaluates the needs of the market or consumer, and then they try to design products or goods which are better than the competitions. Now there are another two more concept which we can add to this. One is the product concept and another is the societal marketing concept. Now product concept, what does it say? It says consumer will prefer products of a higher quality that provide enhanced performance. So here the focus is what? The focus is on producing quality product. It is not on the volume or the number of product which is being produced. Unlike the production concept, here is you are concentrating on the quality of the product. And quality of the product, obviously when the quality is maintained, the price will be very high. So it is not for the mass market. It is for a specific group of consumer. Then the societal marketing concept. Societal, it comes from the word society. So societal marketing concept, it is an extension of the marketing concept. In marketing concept, what was the main focus? The consumer was the main focus. So apart from the consumer, in addition to the consumer, the organization started thinking about the larger society also. So the consumer as well as the society where the consumer belongs, these two are the main focus. So they give something back to the society also. So this is which is most prevalent now, the societal marketing concept. Right. So there are five concepts you have to know. One is the production concept, where the focus is on the supply of goods and products. And another is the selling concept, wherein we are forcing our product onto the consumer. Another is the marketing concept, where we design our products according to the needs and desire of the consumer. Now, and the product concept is when we focus more on producing quality product. And the societal marketing concept is when you take both into consideration the consumer, the desire of the consumer, as well as the society or the community to which the consumer belongs. So these are the five concept which is a very important. Whenever we talk about marketing, a lot of people say it is selling is marketing. No, selling is not marketing. Selling is just a small part of marketing. Marketing is a bigger concept, because when we talk about marketing, we are talking not only about the selling part, we are talking about the product, how to design the product. We are also talking about what price to fix to that product. We are also talking about how do I let the consumer know that this type of product is there in the market. This is the communication part. And we also make sure that a place is there wherein the consumer can come and buy. Say, if you have the product and the consumer does not even know that you have the product, then how are you going to sell it? Or how is the consumer going to come and buy it? So marketing is a bigger concept. So all these things comes. The product designing comes, then the what price, because you cannot keep a price at a very high price. Then people might not buy it. There are so many people who cannot afford it. So you need to fix a price. Then again, you need to let it know to the market, get that such type of product is there in the market. So promotion needs to be done. So marketing is not only about promotion, marketing is not only about product designing, marketing is not only about selling, marketing is a wider and a broader concept. Because selling, it focuses on the needs of the seller, the person who is producing it, the person who is selling it, whereas marketing is on the focus is on the needs of the buyer. Now selling is preoccupied with the seller's need to convert his products into cash, whereas marketing is focused with the idea of satisfying the needs of the consumer by means of associated. Now, whole cluster of things may what comes? It comes the creating, the delivering, and finally the consuming. In tourism, we call it consuming. In other physical products, we call it as buying or the selling part. Now, in tourism, there has been an emergence of the marketing era or the marketing concept. Out of those five, the marketing concept. Why? Because of the increase in demand were at a lower rate than the rises in productivity. Then the purchasing power of the consumer was going up. There was a need for marketing research regarding information on marketing trends, understanding consumer behavior, and the segmentation of the mass market into specialized target markets. Mass market means the whole. Specialized means you are taking part of it. You are dividing it into smaller parts. This is a basic concept of segmentation, which will come later on. So all these factors, it led to the adaptation or the emergence of the marketing era in tourism also. Now, how do a enterprise or what you call a company adopts a business orientation? There are two types of orientation. One is the product oriented orientation, and another is the system orientation. Now, in product orientation, the focus is again only on the product, and this type of marketing might fail. Why? Because when a tourist goes to a destination, he does not go only for the attraction there. For example, in India, we have the Taj Mahal, which is very famous, and people from all over the world they come to see the Taj Mahal, which is in Agra, and it is a city in the state of Uttar Pradesh. So when a tourist comes, say from America, from Kenya, from Rwanda, they come to see the Taj Mahal. They are not coming only for the Taj Mahal. You need faster access, you need accommodation, you need leisure, you need entertainment facilities, you need so many things when you come to a destination. So a destination, so when you talk about the product oriented approach, they are focusing only on the product. So Taj Mahal here in this case is the product, the tourism product. But this type of orientation will fail. Another is the system oriented organization. Now in this, it says the products are acceptable, and what is required is the identification of markets and methods of selling. And such business policy or philosophy, it works only when there is shortage of supply and little competition. But if you look at tourism is there are lot many competitors. Travel agency, how many travel agency are there in your area? If one travel agency comes up today, next day, if seeing their profit, another travel agency also comes up. So, and if I have tour groups coming to me, my neighbor seeing that might also start a tour company or tour guiding. So there are lots of competition, and all destination in the world, tourism is one industry where you do not need much of specialized infrastructure. Whatever infrastructure that the country is having, roads are already there for the common people. There have a water facility, you have stations. So all destination can start promoting itself. So with basic structures also. So that is why we say ki when tourism is very competitive, all destinations in the world, the countries, cities, even towns, they are promoting themselves because you don't need heavy investment in tourism. So, an ideal business tourism orientation, what it should be. The ideal approach for organizing business in the modern tourism marketplace is the integrated orientation. Now, this approach or the integrated orientation, it is governed by market research to provide an understanding of the tourist marketplace and the market opportunities. One is identifying the needs of the tourists, which is done through marketing research. Another is the market opportunities have to be analyzed through market segmentation. We are coming one by one to that. The needs of the tourists have to be translated into products through product planning and design. Then the value of the tourism product and services is to be determined through a pricing policy. The product has to be made available to the tourists through distribution, and the tourists have to be informed and motivated through promotion. So these are certain steps which are required in an ideal business orientation. Now, there are certain characteristics of the tourism product which also, because of which, has an impact on the marketing process. See, tourism product, you cannot evaluate or demonstrate the tourism product in advance. I'll give you an example. Say you have booked yourself for a tour package, adventure tour package. So you're going to the travel agency or the tour operator to buy a tour package for a adventure trip. So the travel agency or the tour operator, he or she cannot demonstrate it to you how the adventure trip is going to thing. He cannot show you rope climbing. He cannot show you trekking. He cannot show you how rappelling is done. He cannot climb the mountain for you and show it to you. But if you go and buy a pen from a shop, you say, okay, I want to buy this pen. How much is it? So he said he shows it to you. You take it in your hand. You see it. You see whether you like the color. You see whether the pen is working properly. Whereas in a tour package, you cannot do that. Yeah. So this is, we cannot demonstrate the tourism product in advance. Another thing is when the tourist buys the product, he is involved in it. Say, I buy a tour package, then to experience that, I have to be there. I have to be there to experience the tour package. So I am involved in it. That means the consumer is involved in it. Whereas you buy a pen, you bring it home, you keep it. If you want to use it, you use it. If you do not want to use it, you just keep it aside. So, or somebody else may come and use it also. But in tourism case, the buyer or the tourists are also involved in it. Tourism product cannot be stored. Say you go to a hotel room, you book it for one night, or the hotel has 50 rooms and they are able to sell only 30 rooms. 20 rooms are not sold for the night. So that 20 room, the money for the 20 room will be lost for that night. You cannot store it. You cannot say, okay, this 20 rooms, we'll try to use it again in the next day. No, it is not possible. So that is why the tourism product, it cannot be stored. Then the tourist buys the experience and does not own the product. You go for trekking, you go for, say, you go for a dinner outside, or you go and stay in a hotel. You stay in the hotel and then you check out the next morning, but the hotel does not belong to you. You're buying the service, but it does not belong to you. So this the experience is you get the experience, but you do not own the product. And the tourism product is a combination of several services. It is not just one product. It is a combination of several services. So because of this characteristics, the marketing is also very difficult and very complex. So in the designing and the packaging of the tourism product, a number of intermediaries are involved. What do you mean by intermediaries? Any one of you? What do you mean by intermediaries? Can any one of you answer? What do you mean by intermediaries?
like the tourist professionals.
Yeah. Say, I am a tourist, you are a service provider. Say, you are the hotel owner. So, a travel agent books my ticket, my hotel room in your hotel. So, the travel agent is the intermediary. So, a person in between. Intermediary means a person in between. So, many intermediaries are involved in tourism. So, bad experience at one level can spoil the entire image of the product or the service. And the demand in tourism is highly elastic and seasonal in nature. In Delhi, in summers, the temperature goes up to 45 degrees Celsius. So, who wants to come to a place where the weather is not good? What is tourism? Tourism is more about leisure. Tourism is about relaxation. You are wanting to unwind, you want to relax, you want to take in pleasure. So weather also plays a very important role. So that is why we call tourism is based on season. When the weather is nice, the season is nice, then we call it as the peak tourist season. And it can differ for one tourist destination to another tourist destination, right? So it is very elastic and it is seasonal also. Then the resource crunch, it affects the marketing services. The consumer of the tourism products and services in future is going to be different from that of today. So this is also another very important point why your marketing strategy needs to be updated every now and then. Today, the consumer, the tourist that we have, it will be different from the tourist that we have tomorrow. And the emergence of specialized tourism is going to make more demand on the industry in relation to the consumer needs. We have lots of different types of tourism coming up. People coin it bicycle tourism, sports tourism, golf tourism, which I feel it is not a very apt way of describing it. You take any activity and you just put tourism into it. This is not how it works. But we are seeing this trend now. And but there are certain specific forms, types of tourism, say ecotourism. Then we have cultural tourism. So this type of tourism, it requires certain uh, parameters to design a specific product. Educational tourism. So the type of marketing strategy that you need to focus on the educational tourist will be different from the type of marketing strategy that you will need to attract the historical tourists, right? So different types of, because of the specialized tourism which is coming up, then there obviously has to be lots of changes in the strategy that you are going to make. Competition is already on the increase, and hence more and more consumer satisfaction will be the key to success. We have lots of competitors, we have lots of tourists. Everybody wants to travel, right? Everybody wants to travel. So, at one point or the other, each one of us will become a tourist. So, if you look at the population of the world, then you can say all of them are potential tourists, right? So that means there is a huge um, resource or a huge potential tourist base. So the growth of tourism will be phenomenal. And a major challenge for tourism market is coming in the form of consumer protection laws and eco-friendly destination. When you have lots of people coming into the picture, every people, I have a different type of needs, you have a different type of needs, you have different types of expectation. So conflicts arises, fights ensures. What I expect from a product, when I go there and I don't find it and I said, okay, I'm not paying because what I expected was different from what I'm seeing. So obviously fights takes place. So consumer protection law, it's also coming. Then eco-friendly destination, we have lots of issues coming up now, the climate change, water shortages. So this is because we have not been very sustainable. We have been using our resources mindlessly. So obviously all this problem comes. So eco-friendly destinations, they will have more chances of attracting more destination. So when we have all these points, the understanding of the role of the marketing organization or the division or a department is very important. Whenever there is an organization, there are certain common marketing objectives. One is understand the tourist needs, wants, tastes, and attitudes. One is to achieve sustainable growth in tourist arrivals, increasing the tourist traffic during the lean season, because in peak season means when the tourism is at the boom, when maximum tourists come. There you don't need to do much of promotion. During the lean period or the off season, we call it as the on season and the off season. So during the off season, when not many tourists are coming, then many of your hotel rooms will lie vacant. So that is a loss of revenue. You have the rooms, you have to maintain it, but no people are coming to stay. So you need the money for maintenance, but income is not coming. So you need to increase the tourist traffic during the lean period. Then to increase the length of stay of tourists, say a tour in your country, a tourist comes and stay for 3 days and then they go away. One more day of their stay will means more expenditure from their pocket. So extending the length of stay of the tourist is important. 3 days may if they spend $1,000, so or $300 per day. If they are staying for 3 days, it will be $900. If they are staying for a fourth day, it will be $1,200. So the longer they stay, the more money they will spend in your destination. So increasing the length of stay of the tourist is an important objective of the tourism organization. Increasing their own profit, image, and popularity, that is the organization image and the popularity. So there is a need for having a marketing department or a marketing division in every organization. If it is a very small organization, say I am having my own travel agency and it is a very small travel agency, so I am the only person who is working in that travel agency. I am the owner also, I am the employee also. So I will be the manager, I will be the marketing manager, I'll do everything. But if you have a bigger organization, then it makes sense to have a separate marketing department which will look into the marketing part. So all the activities of marketing, it is like I said before also, there are 4 P's. The first P is product. The second P is this one, the price. What is the pricing to be done? The third P is promotion. The fourth P is place. Place means distribution, where you will go and find the product or the service. So these 4 P's, they are the basic marketing mix. And within this 4 P's, again, we will try to take a product, what are the other elements in product, what are the other elements in pricing, what are the other elements in promotion. For example, in promotion, you will have the promotion mix, whereas wherein personal selling will come, advertising will come, public relation will come, sales promotion will come. There's different methods of promotion. So, but the main is the 4 P's of marketing. There are certain qualities which a marketing manager should have. He or she should be very energetic, active, and competitive by nature, and creative, because tourism is again all over about creativity. If you say even the decoration of the venue, if it is done in a more appealing way. So how you design the venue itself is depends on the creativity. So if you give something which is different from what the competitors are offering, then obviously people will see a difference in it. So creativity is in terms of seeking new opportunities. Then he or she should be a good communicator or presenter or advocator. Then they should have the skill and the confidence to analyze, to appreciate, and to interpret the data in relation to marketing. Like you already have somebody has done a marketing research for you, and then they say, "Ki, so many tourists are coming to our destination, but these are the reasons why some of them are not satisfied." So if you are not able to understand or to interpret the result of those marketing research and then apply it to your organization, then it is of no use. And the confidence to analyze, to appreciate, and to interpret the data in relation to marketing. And he or she should have the quality of judgment for making marketing decisions and for okay. Sagar has got a point. Let me. Sagar. Sagir, huh? Tell me, what is it that you want to? What is it that you want to ask? I'll go back to my
It seems
presentation
like
on this.
he accidentally click on that icon. He accidentally click on the icon.
Okay, okay, okay. So it was not a thing. So let us go back to the presentation. See, this is the quality of what do you call the qualities of what a marketing manager should have. I don't know why it's not accepting it now. My slide is not moving. I'll stop presenting and then I will. In the meantime, if any one of you has got any this to ask, we can discuss, and then in the to set up presentation. Is there anything that can somebody summarize for me what you have learned so far?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you for giving the chance.
Now,
From what you are now talking about the tourism marketing, it's really an interesting part of this journey. So you are really making a detailed explanation towards the unit. What I learned here about the tourism marketing is that it's the process of promoting a destination or experience potential visitors. So, like you made mention about the Taj Mahal, is a tourist site in India, in Agra, and it is capturing the mind of some, the visitors, so that they can be enthusiasm to meet or to, I can say, witness that kind of building. And I can say, made to mention some places in India like the paradise on earth, which is Kashmir, and the economic capital of India, which is Mumbai and other places. You know, tourism marketing involves creating campaigns that highlight the unique features and attractions of a particular area. So, as a tourist, or I can say, for a country to just develop in tourism sector, they need to look after their current destinations. I can say the potential destinations they have. So they cannot be poorly managed. So I think that are the things you have been talking about, and also the managerial level regarding the tourism or regarding the sector, because as you have said, marketing, or I can say an organization cannot move smoothly without having a resourceful manager. So that's why we should appoint or have a particular manager who can look after the organization. And we have started to discuss about the roles and also the qualities for a manager to possess in order to what? In order to make the organization gain profits and also promote the services and products that they have, and also meet the satisfaction of the tourists as well. I think that is in summary what I would like to just share with you concerning the tourism market.
I don't know why there's a thing It was working now and it's not working again. So this basically in tourism marketing, we need to look at the 4 Ps. Okay, 4 Ps. One is the product, how we design it based on the wants and the desires or the needs of the consumer. If the tourists do not want the product and we keep on making it, then it is not the marketing concept, right? Then we come to another that product, the production concept. So there are certain stages or the evolution of marketing. It started from production to selling, and then it came to the marketing phase that we are seeing right now. And apart from that, we also say there are two more concepts. One is the products concept, and another is the societal marketing concept. The societal marketing concept is the more of a voluntary form in the sense that you are giving it back to the society. So that is also there. And I don't know. Today, somehow this. Try it, and then we can go ahead. Ha. So whenever an organization, they need to make a marketing plan. So marketing plan, what is it? It is a structured guide for carrying out the marketing operation. Now, there are certain issues that you need to address or you need to take into consideration when you are making a marketing plan. One is you need to define what is your marketing objective and goals of the organization. First is, what is it that my organization has started out to be in terms of what are the marketing objective. Then it should also take into account the situation analysis. When you talk about situation analysis, you talk about the background, the forecast, the opportunity, threats, strength, and weaknesses of your organization. You are doing a complete SWOT analysis. Now, based on this marketing, on this aspect, a marketing strategy is devised. And in this, you have to take into account what is the group that you are targeting. Then the marketing mix, when you talk about marketing mix, that 4 things comes, that 4 Ps. And then the levels of marketing expenditure, that is the budget. How much money from your yearly budget are you going to take it for marketing? Because you need it for other paying your employees, you need it for maintenance of the office. So how much of the budget you will be needing it for marketing? This also needs to be decided. Then the next step, it is to the action program, keeping in view a time frame. If I am going to do this activity, then am I going to complete it under 3 months, 2 months, 1 month, or is it for a year? So the time frame is very important. And if you do not achieve within that time frame, then you have to revisit again. So time frame keeps you on your toes. Time frame keeps you within the budget, helps you to keep within the budget. So fixing a time frame is very important. Then the marketing should also specify the methods of monitoring and control. Just because you have a marketing plan, it does not mean it is over. Marketing plan is there, but you need to monitor it, whether the marketing plan is going in the right direction or not. If it is not going in the right direction, you have to stop and take a review. You have to monitor that. So that is also very important. And for organizing, achieving the organizational objectives, we need to know the market. Market. We have used it many times. So the term markets, it can be used in various aspects. Let us see what the market means. Markets, say, for example, we say tourist markets. That is a tourist generating country. If I say the tourist market for India is UK, USA, Bangladesh, that means the tourists coming to India are coming from this country. So we call them as the tourist market. We call them as the tourist generating market or the tourism. And then we have another which is called as the tourism destination. So India is a tourism destination, and the place or the country from where the tourists are coming, we call them as the tourist generating country or the tourist generating market. Then a network of intermediaries who buy and sell tourism products. This also we call them as tourism market. So this is another aspect of saying. And the nature of demand for service product, it is also called as market. Then market, when you think of market, the first thing which comes to our mind is a place where the sellers are there and the buyers are there, like a marketplace, but we still use the word market. So market is a term which is used in various contexts. And everybody and every organization, they like to get as many buyers as possible. But if you think carefully, is it feasible or is it possible? Say the whole of the world, the population, the whole population in the world are potential tourists. Potential means people who has got the so I say the whole world potential tourist. When I go and talk to each people on this planet, on this on the earth, and say, "Ki, please come to my country as a tourist," no, it is not possible because so many people. So it is not possible to reach all prospective buyers because of their wide dispersion and varied buying requirements. One is they are scattered everywhere. It is a huge place. Even within a small city, also, even within a small city, and you have a product, but you cannot go to every household. It is not possible. So that means you need to find a market which is which will be most receptive or which will be most likely to buy the product that you have. So homogeneous market or heterogeneous market is the whole market where everybody has got different characteristics. Now you have to divide this whole heterogeneous market into homogeneous market, smaller markets. And out of those smaller markets, you need to find the market which will most likely buy your product. So this process is what is called as segmentation. Segment means we are dividing into small segments. A whole group dividing into as segmentation. The whole market, the whole population, you are dividing into smaller parts, and each part is called as a market segment. And why do we need to segment the markets? Because buyers or the consumers, they differ from each other in different respects. One is what I want, I might not be finding in the product that you are giving me. Or I might not be having the money to buy the product that you are offering. Your product may be at a very high price. I might not have the money to buy that. So purchasing power is also differs from one person to another. Then buying attitudes. There are people who buy a lot of things. There are people who think for 10, 20 days to buy even a small ordinary item. So buying attitude is also different. Then there are people who do not think about the money. They just buy it. And there are people who think whether this is worth buying. So every one of us has got a different buying attitude. And holiday taste and motives, I might want to go for a nature camp. And you might want to go for an adventure camp. Or you might want to go to a cultural destination. You might want, even in a movie, if movie A is playing here, movie B is playing here, I want to go and see movie A. I don't want to see movie B. Whereas another person might prefer movie B. Right. So each one of us has got our own taste, each one of us has got our own motives. So when there are lots of people, that means lots of variations in all these different expectations. So you cannot cater or you cannot target all the people or all the prospective clients or the potential consumer. You have to find a specific one. In the case of tourism, every individual is a tourist, potential tourist, and we know they are all located in different regions, different parts, different countries of the world. So hence the organization, instead of competing everywhere, need to identify the most attractive consumer that it can serve most effectively. And this is where an understanding of market segmentation it becomes necessary. So market segmentation, let us try to define it. Market segmentation is the process whereby producer meaning the organization, they organize their knowledge of consumer goods and select for particular attention those whose needs and wants they are best able to supply with their products. So market segmentation, it involves a division of the prospective market into identifiable groups. And the organization, before they have taken this market segmentation, they have passed through different stages. One is mass marketing. Now, mass marketing is where the organization, they try to make the effort to attract every eligible buyer to use its product. And therefore, the products are mass produced and they are mass distributed, and no attention it is paid to the consumer preferences. Then another is the product differentiated marketing. Now, in this, an organization had produced two or more products for the entire market. And this product might have different characteristics, but what they have done is they are designed for any different groups. So they are providing some alternatives. If you don't buy this A product, there is a B product that you can buy. So we are just providing them with alternatives. Now, target marketing. Here, the organization, what it does is it differentiates among the varied market segment, focuses on one or more of these segments, and then develop the product to meet the needs of the target market. So in tourism, the organization practice each style of marketing, that is mass marketing. Also, they have done product marketing, product differentiation marketing, and they have done target marketing also. There are certain approaches in the market segmentation, and the purpose of market segmentation is to segment the market generating or the tourist generating markets, identify the prospective tourists according to lifestyle, socioeconomic status, and attitudes about travel. And why this is done? So that the higher prospects of consumer satisfaction is there. What is important here is who all should be grouped in a particular group. Right, so it is necessary to understand what is wanted and who is going to buy your product. And a marketing person, he has to gain knowledge about about this, and so that he can approach this problem by asking certain questions. If you are you are part of an organization, you need to ask certain questions to make sure how to segment your market. Now, this question, it relates to what, how, where, when, why, and who. So let us see what are the type of questions. In what questions, what factors influence the tourist demand? What services do the tourists expect? What is the basis for tourists comparing your product with other products? What benefits do the tourists seek? What risks do the tourists perceive, and what are the tastes of the tourists? So this is not an exclusive number of questions. There are multiple number of questions. This is just a few examples that we have given, so that you can analyze based on the answers to this question. Then you can check whether your product satisfies this answers, and then you can market and segment your market. How do tourists buy? How much are the tourists willing to spend? How many vacations do the tourists take in a year? Because there are people who take only one vacation in a year. There are people who does not take vacation in a year. And there are people who goes every month for a holiday. So how many vacations do tourists take in a year? This is also important. If you know a person takes, say, 3 or 4 holidays in a year, and you know the particular time when he takes, then you know how to approach that person. His holiday season is coming up, so this is the time. And what does he want? Accordingly, I make a package and I sell it to him. So how many? And if you have different products in with you, and you go and sell it or try to sell it to a person or market it to a person who does not take vacation at all, then all your efforts will be lost. So how many vacations do the tourists take in a year is important. How does promotion and advertising affect the tourist demand? Whether the advertisement that you have given on the TV, do many people see it, and how do they react to that? That is important. And how does the product fit into the lifestyle of the tourist? This is also important. Where questions? Where is the decision made by the tourist to buy? Well, whether he made it by when he is sitting at home with his family and they're deciding, or he made the decision when he is at the travel agency's office or the tour operator's office, or he is there in his office and all of them are planning to go for a holiday and they just decided on the spur of the moment, let us in his office place. So where is the decision to buy is taken by the tourist. Then where do the tourists make a decision to buy the product and where do the tourists buy the product? This is again important. When do the tourists take a vacation? When do the tourists make a decision to buy the product? When is the product repurchased? If I've already bought this product and I am purchasing again, so this is, say, I have visited a country, say USA, I'm going there again, so I'm revisiting. So revisitation is a very important concept in tourism. Why questions? Why do tourists buy your product? And another question is, why do tourists not buy your product and they go and buy your competitor's product? Why do the tourists choose one destination over the other? Why do tourists go to a particular destination? Why do the tourists prefer one type of service and not the other? And this question again, why do the tourists buy your competitor's product? It may be because your competitor's product are far more superior than yours, or the package that the competitors are selling, they have more items which the tourist wants. So all these questions, when you ask a lot of questions, obviously you are seeking answers and different types of answers will come. And based on this answer, then you will be in a position to decide what are the how to segment your market. Who buys your products? Who buys your competitors' products? Who are likely to buy your product? Who may not be interested in your product? So all these are questions. Now, in order to make a market segment, there are certain characteristics of that segment. The segment should be discrete. That is, the separate identity of the subgroup must be established. Like, say, example, you have a group and you have an income based on income, say from 40,000 to 60,000, a group. So certain specific elements should be there, measurable. The characteristics that distinguish the subgroup should be measurable through the available data, viable. Now, viable, it means projected earning to be achieved should be more than the cost of designing of the market mix. Say, I want to target a group, but the demands of that group, the product that the group are wanting, and I have designed it accordingly, but they are not willing to pay the price which I am saying. So I'll be at a loss if I don't sell it at that price, right? But the group is not willing. So which means that segment is not viable. Then appropriate, showing the inseparability of the tourism product, which should contribute to overall image in the market, and sustainable. So they must have this sufficient potential to be seen as a continuing source of tourists. There are five major variables or factors which are used for segmenting the potential tourists. One is geographic segmentation, another is demographic segmentation, another is psychographic segmentation, behavioral segmentation, and price segmentation. We will just go through briefly what each one of them means. When you say geographic segmentation, then you know it depends on the geography and the location of that place, like a region, a country, a state, or a city. And this is one of the simplest method of segmenting the market. We say tourists from America, we say tourists from France, say tourists from Rwanda, tourists from South Africa. So you are segmenting the market based on the geography of that country. Now, a company can decide to operate in one or few geographic areas or operate in all, but pay attention to local variation in geographic needs and preferences. Say, for example, if you are talking about, say, Switzerland has got lots of mountains. So you cannot market a tour package or a tourism product which has got mountain-based activity to the Swiss people from Switzerland, because they are already used to it. They have it at their home place. So they might be wanting something, because when you go on a vacation, you want to experience something which is out of the ordinary. Ordinary means whatever you see in your in and around your routine work. So it is a break from your routine work. So I'm seeing mountains all day long, and I don't want to go to a destination or a mountain based destination. Instead, I would prefer to go to a place where there is beaches, where there is desert, which are not available at my own place. So this is one of the basic criteria, or the basic element based on which the geographic segmentation is taken into consideration. Similarly, in India, we have a place called as a state called as Rajasthan, which is famous. It is marketed to countries like Germany, France, or UK, where they do not have any desert. You do not go and market Rajasthan to a country which is a desert land, right? So based on the geographic segmentation is very important. Um, Demographic segmentation. In this, the tourism market, it is divided, keeping your age, gender, family size, family life cycle. Then the family life cycle, in the sense you talk about a family with small kids, or you are talking about people, senior citizen. So depending upon then the income, occupation, education, religion, race, nationality. So all these are demographic factors. So based on this, you can also segment your market. If you have a you have a tour company which is adventure tour company, so you do not go and target the religious groups. You go and target people who are energetic, because when you go for adventure trips, you need people who are more healthy, right? So you try to segment on that. And this demographic frequently used method of market segmentation because of two reasons. One is consumer wants, preferences, and the usage rates are associated with demographic variables. As a general, this one, as we get older, we tend to be more spiritual, we tend to be more religious. 60, they are a perfect target for religious tourism. This may not be the case. It differs from one person to another. But as a general rule, the concept is that people, as we grow older, we tend to become more spiritual. We don't have that much of added responsibility, so we have time to pursue our spiritual inclinations. So these are a target group. And demographic profile, when we are a teenager, the type of things that we want, and when we are all this differs according to the demographic variables. And this method, it is easy, and measurement and interpretation of the data. Interpretation of the data, say when you very easy to differentiate. Male, how many people are traveling? Female, how many people are traveling? So demographic variables, it is easy. Not only gender, if you talk about age group also, up till 30 years, the liking or the preference is this. Above 30, the likings is this. So it is easy to differentiate and easy to interpret your data also. Now look at this. This is a typical segmentation of the European market for India. We say age, those between 25 to 59 years of age. Gender is both male and female. Family size is 2 to 5 members. Family life cycle, single or married, but without children below the age of 14. Then occupation, there may be professionals, there may be executive, business proprietors, civil services. Education, higher secondary and above. Nationality, Germans, French, Italy, France. That's so this might be for a tour package that you have developed. So this is how we segment the market. Then psychographic segmentation. Now, psychographic segmentation, here the basis is on the psychological makeup, like your personality and lifestyle characteristics, and refers to these traits, the attitudes, the habit of an individual. When you talk about lifestyle, it means the way a person lives his life. And companies identify their market segment. There are three types of consumer. One is the need driven consumer, the outer directed consumer, and the inner directed consumer. And so these are the type of consumers. So obviously, the tourism marketers, they would like to identify those who are self-made, successful, mainstreamers, aspirers, or innovator type. So tourists, they are segmented on a psychological basis with the idea that among certain types of tourists, there can be some common aptitudes. Now, behavioral segmentation is again one of the basis or the factors. And in this, the basis is on the knowledge, the attitude, use, or response to the tourism product. And the number of behavioral variables which we use are, it can be occasions, it can be benefits or user status, user rate, loyalty status, buyer readiness stage, attitudes, etc. You look at the occasions, uh, say you are looking, sometimes the buyers are classified on the basis of critical events, marriage, acquisition of home, change in career, retirement, etc. So this can be for occasion. Benefits, there are consumer which looks for major benefits. There are consumer who look for very minute benefits also, and some of this, they deliver, major brands that deliver these benefits. User status, it may be first time visitor or repeat visitors, ex visitors or potential visitors, etc. So this is the status. Then users rate, are they frequent travelers or one time travelers? Loyalty status, that this refers to the tourist preferences for a particular product. Let us look at this. There are 4 degrees in loyalty. Hardcore royals. That means they are the ones who are exclusively devoted to one organization. That means if I like Adidas ka product, I will buy Adidas products. So I am a hardcore royal of Adidas products. Softcore royals, this may be devoted to 2 or 3 organizations. I am equally comfortable with Adidas ka product and I'm comfortable with Nike product. So I don't have a specific one. I am soft core between 2 or more. Shifting loyals, those who gradually move to favor one organization over another organization. One day I might like one, another day I might like another. So I keep on shifting. Switcher, that means who has no loyalty at all. They don't go for any brands or any this one. They are the switchers. So these are the 4 degrees in loyalty that we call as. Then the buyer readiness stage. At any given time, people are in different stages of readiness to buy a product. And many a times they are just looking at the market, at the product. They don't have the intention. They're just looking at the features. They might buy after 1 month or 2 months. Or there are people who want to go for a vacation right now. So buyer readiness stage is again an important criteria. Attitude, whether they may be enthusiastic, positive, indifferent to the product that you have. Price segmentation, we have high spenders who are prepared to pay high prices. They are described as up budget tourists. Then there are those who want to take a low price vacation and those who want to take a moderately priced vacation. So price segmentation also comes in the picture. Then there are certain other additional determinants of market segmentation apart from those 5 major variables or factors. Say travel habits of the tourists, which may include the distance travel. There are people who want to go for a long haul destination. Long haul destination is destination which are very far from your hometown, or the duration of the trip. People who might go for 2 days or 3 days, and there might people who might go for a whole month. Time of travel, some people travel during winter vacation, some people travel during the weekends, organization of the trip, travel trips, etc. So an organization, they can apply one or more variables simultaneously for market segmentation. And there are certain methods, but most of all, your intuitions, what your inner voice says, what your experience, how what you have learned from your experience, the market research, trial and errors, these are the factors which also contribute or help while segmenting your market. So these are some of the advantages of market segmentation that we have listed. You can go through this afterwards. It helps to create the stronger marketing messages or gives higher prospect of converting potential consumer to actual ones. Then again, if there are advantages, obviously some limitations should also be there. So you have some limitations of market segmentation, because if we have defined it, narrowly defined a segment, then we may leave out some customers also. A lot of research and study need to be done while zeroing it, and the process is time consuming as well as expensive. So these are some of the limitations of market segmentation. Then let us just roughly go through the international and domestic tourism. Now, UNWTO and others, we define foreign tourists like a person who is going from a country to another country for at least 24 hours. And the purpose of the journey can be either leisure, recreation, health. And one thing is, you will not be a working professional there, or you will not earn money while you are in that destination. So this is a basic definition of a foreign tourist. And an excursionist, it is a visitor who stays less than 24 hours in the country. They are just a transit visitor, or they just come for a few hours and then they go back. They do not stay for 24 hours. Whereas when you say a foreign tourist or an international tourist, they stay at least for 24 hours, but less than 1 year. There is a definition of by UNW says less than 1 year, but more than 1 day. An excursionist means only less than 24 hours. And non-resident Indian, it is an Indian citizen who resides in India for less than 182 days. This you won't have much of a thing to you, but since it was there in your syllabus, I have just added it. Now there are two types of tourism: inbound tourism, outbound tourism. I know you're all familiar with this. Inbound is when you are entering into that. If a person from France come to India, then from France, he is an outbound tourist. But in India, he is an inbound tourist. And as an Indian, if I go to USA, I am an outbound tourist from the Indian statistics point of view. But to the to USA, I am an inbound tourist. Outbound means when you go away from your country. Intra-regional tourism is again important. Intra-regional, UNWTO, that is the UN United Nations World Tourism Organization, it divides the world into 5 regions: the Americas, Europe, Asia and Pacific, Africa, and Middle East. Americas, both the North and South America comes. Europe, the whole of Europe comes into that. Asia and Pacific, Asia and Australia and New Zealand. Africa, the whole continent of Africa, and Middle East. Saudi Arabia, between one or more within the region. If it is, if within Europe itself, then is intra-regional tourism for Europe. Within Asia and Pacific itself, then it is intra-Asia and Pacific region. Inter means one to another. Like Europe and America, they can have inter travel, but intra means within. Now, when we talk about statistics, are very important in tourism, because when you look at the statistics, you know what are the growth patterns and where there was a halt in the timeline, then you can go back and take action or lessons that you learn from there. So you see, we have a lot of statistics. I'm not going through all of them. Let us just look at this. World tourist arrivals in 2019 was 1,460 million. This was before the pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic in 2019, it was 1,460 million. The corona virus spread, lots of this one travel and tourism industry came to a standstill, almost at a standstill. So you can see 2020, all over the world, the tourist arrival was only 405 million, less than fourth of what we had, not even fourth of what was there the previous year. And in 2021, 427 million. So it is improving, because 2022, the figures have not arrived as yet. So we are not including the 2022 figures, where there was a lot of revenge travel. People were under lockdown, so people traveled a lot in 2022. So when the 2022 figures come, there will be a lot of increase in that. Tourist arrivals in India comparatively, see, in 2019, we had 17.9 million, whereas in 2020, it dropped to 6 million, and in 2021, it was just 7 million. So this is a percentage share and the world ranking in terms of, I'm just giving an example of India. You can look up your individual country statistics, and from the UNWTO, they publish barometers. Barometer, it is a specialized edition or the publication of UNWTO, wherein all these figures are given. You must also be having your own separate tourism organization, or we call it as a national tourism organization. They maintain the statistics, and you just try to see, because when you look at figures and statistics, then it speaks the real picture. You can deduce a lot of, you can interpret a lot of thing from here. So because once, if you see anybody who has not known there was a pandemic, then all of a sudden, if you see from 1,460 to drastically to 405, so it clicks. Okay, why does it happen, or why does it drastically reduce? So the reason comes in there. So this is just one of the statistics. These are the receipts. I'm taking only the 2019 because after the pandemic, when 2022 figures come, then we will be able to give a more comparative comparable statistics. So in 2019, the whole world tourism receipt was 4,431 billion US dollars. India got 30 billion US dollars, and it was ranked in terms of 12th. And for a good marketer, it is always important to know where the tourists are going, who is spending. Because, say, if you, as a destination, I want to target other country, other nationals, other people from other countries. So tourism is all about profitability. So if I know who spends the most amount of money, then it makes much more sense to target those groups. So total number of tourist arrivals, total tourism receipts. See, this was in 2019. France was the top destination which was visited. Then Spain was second. The USA was third. China, Italy, Turkey, Mexico, Germany, Thailand, United Kingdom. But again, in 2021, if you look at 21 figure, then France still maintains the top destination, followed by Italy, not by Spain, Mexico, United States, Spain, Turkey, Austria, Germany, United Kingdom. So all these countries, one year somebody would be on top, and another country. But France usually, for a long period of time, it is the most visited destination in the world. And in terms of this one again, This is a number, 89 million in 2019. Then Spain has got 83 million. United Nations has got 80 million tourists coming into it. So these are the figures. Then the top tourism revenue earners. France is the most visited destination. But who receives the most revenue? USA, not France. Okay. So that means tourists who are coming to USA, they spend more money. France got the maximum number of tourists, but it is in second place in terms of the revenue generation. Then the top three spenders. Tourists from which country spends a lot? Chinese spends a lot. American from, no, that is not America, USA, they spend a lot. Germans also spend a lot. So it makes sense if you are a new upcoming destination, it makes sense to target this group because you know they are already spending a lot of money. So these are the top three spenders. Then this is a market international tourist arrival in 2018, 1980. When we started, it was only 1.25 million. Down the years in 2019, we have reached 17.9 million. This is from the Bureau of Immigration, Government of India Statistics. This is tourist arrivals, that the top tourist source country or the tourist generating countries for India in 2022, United States, Bangladesh, United Kingdom, Canada, Nepal, Afghanistan, Australia, Germany, Portugal, and France. Then outbound is the people going away from India. There's Indian tourists going abroad. These are some of the figures there. Then where do they go? So within Asia, they study for next is Asia, then Europe, America, Africa, they got the list, 5%. Now, factors affecting the growth of Indian outbound tourism. If from your country, if you're going to target the Indian tourists, there are certain factors that you need to know. Impressive economic growth of the country. India has been one of the fastest growing economy in the world. Then the emergence of the great Indian middle class, substantial disposable income. Disposable income is the income the money that you have with you when all has been spent on your basic necessity, and the extra money that you have, those are called as a disposable income. And it is only when you have the disposable income that the tourism activities come into the picture. Then the liberalization of the civil aviation policy. Previously, only the state government or the central government were having a monopoly air system. Now private players are allowed. Then the liberalization of the exchange control, considerable increase in flight connectivity, bilateral visa arrangement, then online booking facilities. So all these are the growth which are affecting the Indian outbound tourism. This is not necessarily true only for India. This is true for all the other countries also. If you have economic growth, if you have more of disposable income, you have a very flexible and proactive pro-tourist visa arrangement, and obviously all this matters in attracting people to come to your country. Now, domestic tourism is people traveling within the borders of his own country, and for not less than 1 hour, but at least for one night, and whose main purpose can be other than the exercise of an activity remunerated from within the place visited. And if you have seen during the pandemic, it is the domestic tourism industry which has sustained the tourism industry. International tourism, there was a flat lockdown or a ban on all the travel activities, but internally movements were there. So domestic tourism came to the rescue of the tourism industry. And salient features of the domestic tourism, it is one of the oldest known forms of tourism, does not require travelers to cross international borders of the country or residence, do not require documents such as passport or visa to travel. So within my own country, I do not need anybody's permission. I can go. If there are specific areas for military reasons and all, you cannot enter, that is different. But otherwise, as a citizen, I am allowed to travel to in my country. But if I have to travel abroad, then obviously certain documentation are required. You need passport, you need visa. So these are hampers. People do not want to go for extra work. So domestic tourism is preferable. Then it is not limited only to the higher income group. You don't need that much of money to travel around your own country. Can be easily forecasted because you are residing in that country, so you know the ins and outs, and you know what is to be expected. Can be easily regulated as compared to international tourism. So these are some of the salient characteristic of domestic tourism, and it applies in every country situation. Uh, and of late, it has dawned upon both the industry and the government that it is a domestic tourism which sustained overall tourism industry in the country. And this is particularly true if you look at the during the pandemic and even now, post-pandemic also. Uh, these are some of the historical backgrounds of Indian domestic tourism, which I have just collated. And at the top Indian cities, these are the states in India. The names might not be familiar with you. Uh, Uttar Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Maharashtra, West Bengal, Madhya Pradesh, Telangana, Gujarat, Rajasthan. So these are the states which have got the highest domestic tourist visit. And the reason for growth of domestic tourism, again, steady economic growth, then the changing lifestyles, improved tourism infrastructure, and initiative by the Ministry of Tourism and the state tourism boards. Now, these are certain findings of a 2014-15 survey which has been done on domestic tourism. What was the purpose of travel? Then the mode of travel, then the preferred mode of accommodation. These are very interesting to know. Then tourism expenditure, how much do they spend? And then we have the advantages of domestic tourism. Like I said, you don't need documentation. Generates higher revenue than international tourism in many countries. Supports the local economies. Help tide over seasonality issues since in international tourism. Reliable sources of income for the country. Promote a sense of pride among the citizen itself. This is not specific only to India. It is a general thing. These are again the disadvantages. If there are pros and cons, obviously there will be what do you call disadvantages also. Can lead to overcrowding of destinations and all that. So you see, so far we have covered a lot of things. I've been talking continuously for around 2 hours now. So anybody has got any query, anything related to what we have discussed so far, you can share your views. How is the tourism there at your place, or anything that you would like to share? I hope you have gone through all the material that we have uploaded for you and the video recordings. So go through it. And if you have any doubts, please, because from next session onwards, and block 2, block 3, block 4. So before a session is, the counseling session is there, try to read through the material. And any point where you are stuck, any point where you feel you need some more explanation, then you can ask the concerned counselor who will be there. That is the basic idea of what a counseling session is. This is not exactly a classroom teaching. This is more like this one. Basir, how are you? He has paused his video now. So thank you so much. If you don't have any more query, thank you so much for attending the session. And I hope any doubt that you have, we can you can get it cleared from other counselors also. And since no questions are coming, I assume that you don't have any doubts. Whatever I have taught has gone through you. And so let's wind up the session. And unless and until you don't have any this one, I am also the course coordinator for this this one TS-6 tourism marketing. So I would be the one uploading the videos. I would be the one doing everything in terms of arranging for question papers, in terms of evaluation. So any doubts that you have, you can mail me, and then we can go about it. Okay, thank you so much. We'll meet again at some other session. Yes.
Yeah, as you said, you are the coordinator. So if there's any query, we can just talk to you directly. Please.
You note
And
down
thank you
my
for the
email ID.
presentations.
It is you mail it to me, but related only with TS-6, right? It is AKOIJAM. Let me repeat again. AKOIJAM @ignou.ac.in. Okay, so you can mail in any query that you have regarding TS-6, and I'll be more than happy to reply to you. And wishing you all the best for the other session. And like I said, please read through the material before you attend a counseling session. That way, all your doubts will be cleared, and it will be more effective. Okay, then. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
And all the best. Okay.